to the Enterprise World Factory. Today, we are privileged to feature an accomplished global business leader who is driving innovation and transformation at the intersection of technology, strategy, and enterprise growth across the APAC region. As the Vice Chairman of Kripya Solutions Pvt Limited, he has been instrumental in shaping the company's vision, strengthening its technological capabilities, and positioning itself as a forward-thinking organization in the evolving digital ecosystem. His leadership reflects a strong balance of strategic execution and innovation-led thinking, ensuring that technology not only drives efficiency but also creates a long-term business value and sustainable growth. Please join me in welcoming the recipient of Business Technology Excellence Award 2026, Mr. Madhavan Srinivasan. Mr. Madhavan, thank you so much for joining us today, and it's a pleasure to have you with us on the show.
Thank you, Apurva, for getting me on this show. It's also a pleasure to interact with you.
So it's an honor. So let's get started with our first segment. So Mr. Madhavan, to begin with, could you talk us or take us through your professional journey and what inspired you to lead into the space of business technology and enterprise transformation?
Okay. So I've been very fortunate to work in the tech industry in India for almost 4 decades now. And that gave me the global exposure to all the countries and all the technologies that I can handle. In my years of experience, both a professional as well as an entrepreneur, I've had the opportunity of exploring new technologies and the relevance to business. My professional career spanned across 14 years, in which I've been responsible for new product introduction all the time. So that made me look at new things in a different perspective. And that's why I got interested in, providing business technology leadership. I also pursued my passions with a committed effort and to act like a catalyst to transform concepts to customer adoption. That is what I would say is my strength, and relied on my directed innovation as the fuel to get this far in my journey. It's been a very interesting and a very fulfilling journey so far for me.
That's excellent, sir. So, what were some of the defining moments in your career that led you to the position, the leadership, that shaped your leadership approach as the vice chairman of the company?
So there are a couple of transformations I personally went through as an individual, and started off as a professional manager working for some of the large IT companies in India. I experienced the transition from being a manager to a leader when I became an entrepreneur. And I have the great exposure to very different functional expertise in all the companies that I worked for or created. So literally my practice was on skills, the different roles that I played in the business as a business co-founder with a phenomenal team. So every new product or a practice that we launched and every customer adoption for that is really the validation point and defining moment for us. We actually value them with a lot of fond memories. From a serial entrepreneur perspective, before I took over the executive leadership at Kripya Solutions as a vice chairman, I've transformed my approach to leadership from managerial leadership to coaching oriented. So this style was quite suited to Kripya's situation, as the situation wanted for Kripya to grow.
That's fantastic, sir. So how do you see technology reshaping enterprise operations and business models across the APAC region today?
Yeah. Long time, people used to think that APAC is lagging behind in technology adoption compared to the Western world. As I went through my transition from being a professional to an entrepreneur to now being a leader of a large company, the gap between the early adoption and the large-scale use of technology has shrunk in the APAC region. The technology leadership position, if any, between the Western world and the Eastern world has also been reduced with the democratized innovation. Today, there are a lot of Asian companies which are leading the technology evolution as well as pioneering. So the key differentiator is the adoption of technology at very large scale. And the market segment that we use are very different from the other market. Therefore, every APAC use case provides a scale that is required for technology adoption. Business models also have changed over a period of time, and people adopt this technology quite rapidly. And the whole issue is basically they don't want to miss out the fun. So the FOMO syndrome was also reaching, the level where they want to adopt new technologies. I would say today it's in a fairly matured adoption stage as far as technology in the APAC region is concerned.
That's superb, sir. So in your experience, what are the biggest challenges organizations face when adopting large-scale digital transformation initiatives?
Quite frankly, digitization and digitalization have been around for quite some time. But these are from the days of process reengineering that people use for ERP implementation, etc. But digitalization as a concept has become relatively new, where silos of data, which are having different information in disjoint automation efforts have been suboptimal. So they have not given the results they wanted. So large-scale digital transformation requires almost a selfless attitude towards using data for better and faster decisions. Impediments, if any, or resistance to share and transfer vital information for collaboration. And this fear of losing control may be the reason why it was not adopted. But having said that, today it's changing. A lot of companies see the benefit of caring and sharing information across the value chain. Therefore, digitalization is actually now overcoming some of these challenges.
That's well said right there, sir. So how does Kripya Solutions Private Limited approach innovation while ensuring business stability and long-term value creation for its customers?
Yeah, Kripya is now on the 20th year of since inception, but we are still at it in terms of trying to create value for our customers. But with some degree of success in the past, as well as a more calibrated approach towards optimism. Frugality and agility drive our innovation because we believe in creating innovation that can scale, but then spent with the spirit of responsible investments going forward. And we do a lot of focus group participation for us to validate some of the ideas. We have clearly defined a business objective that drives investments into a customer acquisition, retention, and later diversification. The leadership at Kripya is also looking at value creation as a two dimensions. One is lifetime customer value, other one is long-term competitive advantage. So using these two levers, every innovation project is reviewed carefully by Kripya and adoption happens over a period of time. We've been able to inculcate this culture of fail fast kind of thing within Kripya.
That's insightful, sir. So can you share with us an example of a major transformation initiative that didn't go as planned, but you learned some of the key lessons? So what did you take away from that initiative?
Okay. So Kripya has had a very long-standing relationship with a client in the US for software engineering services. They are an enterprise software product company and they make the product for global adoption, and we do the engineering part from the back in India. We looked at this as a strength and we launched an initiative to expand the similar offering to other customers in the US market and put a lot of investment in terms of people oriented towards that. But our effort to present the credentials to the other markets in the US did not meet with big success despite the enduring success we had with the first client. There are two key lessons we learned from that. We have to approach it like a domain-specific expertise as opposed to going a generic software development kind of a model. So we have to build product, therefore we should know the domain in which the product is getting built. And second is US is a fairly large market. Focused marketing efforts are required in targeted locations so that we are able to present the best use case for us to adopt. And therefore we have chosen now as path by which we choose the right vertical in which we are very strong, as well as the right market for us to go after. So that's the lesson we learned from this.
That's a great one, sir. So how do you ensure alignment between business strategy, technological adoption, and also organizational readiness?
It's an interesting question because culture is always looked at with some kind of trepidation because people are not used to defining the term very well because every organization has got its own bearing on culture. So Kripya is focused on alignment of its culture underpinnings with its business, customer acquisition, and retention strategies. Whatever plans we create, whatever process we follow, whatever people readiness we come across revolves around thoughts and actions. Our founder used to actually encapsulate them in an acronym which I want to just explain to you. One is called HEART. HEART is for thinking. HEART means humble, empathetic, authentic, reflective, and trustworthy. And then PROS. PROS is in action, which is proactiveness, respectful, open communication, self-regulation, and empathetic. So essentially, we follow this HEART and PROS as a kind of cultural underpinning for us to transform people and the processes. On the technology side, Kripya has always used the approach of preserve the best, change the rest, build the next. That's the approach we take.
That's very visionary right there, sir. So this brings me to the last question of the segment 1. What role does leadership play in fostering a culture of innovation within technological-driven organizations?
So leadership at Kripya comes with the diverse expertise. We have people from different industries as well as different levels of expertise. Years of experience at one level with domain, they bring in deep domain knowledge. Second is a fertile mind to explore further into the same domain, which is a kind of openness to accept innovation, etc. So discipline around innovation without compromising on creativity is a balance we strike. Okay, we create what is called brown bag sessions where a lot of innovative ideas are shared with the team members, criticized, given feedback input before we take it forward. Our growth aspirations and risk appetite are also directed with a fail fast mode, as I told before. So I think our leadership is programmed to be a learning organization.
I think that's really great, sir. So this brings us to the wrap of the segment 1. So let's quickly move on to the segment 2. So it's going to be a quick rapid fire round. So we just expect insightful short answers from you, sir. So one word that defines your leadership style.
Participative.
A core principle you never compromise on.
Integrity.
One habit that keeps you focused during high pressure decisions.
Patience.
A common misconception about digital transformation.
Quick fixes.
The most rewarding part of leading a technological driven change.
Customer validation.
One skill every future leader must develop in the AI era.
Adaptability.
Your leadership mantra in one line, sir.
I don't have all the answers, but I can find others who have answers.
Oh, that's a great one, sir. I think you were very spontaneous, and all of your answers were very short and crisp right there. So that's a wrap for the second segment. Let's move on to the third segment. So, Mr. Madhavan, you've got a lot of experience working in this field. So, if you had to share one message or advice with the emerging leaders building careers in technology and business transformation, what would it be?
I would tell them success is never an accident. Focused efforts and sustained passion will see you through difficult times.
I think that's really wise words right there, sir. So this brings us to the end of the third segment. So let's move on to the fourth segment, which will be the final one. So looking ahead, what are some of the major shifts you believe will redefine enterprise technology and digital ecosystems in the APAC region?
So I've been looking around, extensively in what's happening in APAC, specifically because that's a market very close to us. So in many ways, the APAC region is leading in the adoption of enterprise technologies. In some industry verticals, they are ahead, in some they are lagging, but most of them they are catching up. But their success will motivate others to follow. But the digital ecosystem is maturing very fast to facilitate rapid adoption of new technologies. New technology development is also prevalent in many parts of Asia Pacific, and the industry academia collaboration is seen to play a very big role in this whole adoption of technology.
I think that's a very informative answer right there. So how is Kripya Solutions Pvt Limited positioning itself to stay ahead in an increasingly competitive and innovation-driven market? Because you know that it's challenging times right now.
Yes. So one thing we realized in all these 2 decades of existence is that no matter what we do, customer is a king. Customer is what is going to pay for us in terms of our survival, etc. So what we do is basically we think like a startup, but act like a mature process for innovation. Our time to design is accelerated with technology and tools, but the time to market is calibrated with customer adoption.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful, and definitely customer-centric is the key for success and growth. So this brings me to the last and final question. In your view, what will distinguish truly successful business leaders in the next era of digital transformation? Like, what is that one USP that everybody needs to have?
I don't want to be prescriptive, but I just want to make sure that I'm heard properly. I've been having a lot of these experiences myself in the career of being an entrepreneur. But like it always been the case in my experience, staying hungry and striving to be relevant makes a lot of sense. And the business leaders need to navigate through the VUCA and BANI times, as I call. But key thing is to keep looking for opportunities to adopt and adapt.
I think that's incredible right there. So this brings us to the end of the interview, but before we say our goodbyes, I just want to give you a small vote of thanks. So Mr. Madhavan, thank you so much for sharing with us your valuable insights, experiences, and the vision for the future of business technology and enterprise transformation. Your journey is a powerful reminder that true business excellence is built at the intersection of vision, innovation, and disciplined execution. We look forward to seeing how you continue to shape the future of enterprise technology and inspire transformation across the APAC region. For all of our viewers, we'll be soon back with more conversations spotlighting visionary leaders shaping the future of business and innovation right here on the Enterprise World magazine. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and effort for this interview, and I wish you all the best with your role and for your company ahead.
Thank you very much for the Enterprise World magazine for giving us the limelight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir, and have a great rest of the day as well.
You too. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Bye. Take care.
Bye. Take care. Bye.